Picture this scenario in Washington, D.C. Both chambers of Congress have successfully passed a major piece of legislation, sending it to the president's desk for signature. The anticipation is high, but then something unexpected happens. No, a bill cannot still pass after a presidential pocket veto. Once a president exercises this specific power, the bill is effectively dead and cannot become law in its current form. The mechanism behind a pocket veto is quite distinct from a regular veto. The defining characteristic of a pocket veto is the timing. If Congress sends a bill to the president and then adjourns its session within 10 days, excluding Sundays, without having appointed members to officially receive a veto message, the bill simply does not become law. It is as if the bill disappeared into the president's pocket without any formal action. This stands in stark contrast to a regular veto, where the president explicitly rejects a bill, sends it back to Congress with objections, and Congress then has the opportunity to override that veto with a 2/3 vote in both chambers. Crucially, because Congress is not in session during a pocket veto, there is no opportunity for a veto override vote, making the president's decision absolute for that particular legislative effort. To avoid a pocket veto, Congress can take certain actions. They can choose to remain in session during the 10-day period, ensuring they are available to receive a regular veto message, which they could then attempt to override. If a bill is pocket vetoed, the only path forward for its proponents is to reintroduce the legislation in a new session of Congress. This means starting the entire legislative process again from scratch, requiring new votes and potentially new negotiations in both the House of Representatives and the Senate. The very existence of the pocket veto emphasizes the strategic interplay between the executive and legislative branches. It grants the president a subtle yet undeniable advantage in shaping the legislative agenda, especially when Congress concludes its work for a term or a long recess. This power is found in Article 1, Section 7 of the United States Constitution. Historically, presidents have used the pocket veto as a way to quietly kill legislation they oppose without expending political capital on a public veto battle. This power has been debated and clarified by Supreme Court cases over the years, particularly regarding what constitutes a true adjournment of Congress that triggers a pocket veto. These legal interpretations have refined its application, solidifying its role as a significant, though infrequent, tool in the president's legislative arsenal. Understanding the pocket veto reveals a fundamental aspect of how the president influences lawmaking. It highlights that the timing of legislative action, especially near congressional adjournments, is just as critical as the content of the bill itself. For any piece of legislation to become law, it requires not only congressional approval but also either presidential assent or a successful override of a regular veto. The pocket veto acts as a definitive end for a bill, forcing a complete legislative reset if its advocates wish to pursue the policy again.